What if I told you that there's one single word that links every single character in the Amazing Digital Circus? Every action and every word. Even for those who are wildly different, they still share this one connecting factor. So then, what is this one thing that links all these characters? Well, when we're looking for the link between these characters, in this case, we're looking for the theme of the story. And what better way to find that out than to look at the characters? More specifically, how they start out and how their character resolutions occur at the end. We'll be going through these pretty quick since there's so many characters, but see if you can start to spot the commonality between them. First, let's start out with the protagonist, Pomni. Within the story, Pomni starts out as an anxious and frightened character as she's the newbie to the circus, but over the time she adjusts, and in episode 3, Kinger supports her and lifts her up by telling her how strong she is and by putting his faith in her, beginning her character resolution. And at the end, when everything seems hopeless to Pomni, Kinger reassures her again by validating her feelings and not ignoring the sadness she feels, but by validating her strength and reminding her of how strong she truly is, leading to her doing what she needs to do, to help her friend and to resolve her character arc. Her character is resolved because her inner strength is validated. Ragath at the beginning starts out as over-caring and over-anxious. We learn that this stems from the desire to make everybody not hate her by being a people-pleaser, and that a good amount of the time she ends up hurting herself in order to reach that goal. But it's not until Kinger talks with her and validates her feelings, empathizes with her, and tells her how to care for others without hurting herself that she is truly able to have a character resolution. After that point, she becomes more confident in herself, and she doesn't worry about pleasing others at the cost of staying true to herself. Her character is resolved because her true self is validated and not pushed aside. Zubul starts out as the tortured pessimist, if you will, of the group. When they enter the circus, they gain a disfigured toy body that they would constantly swap out with other body parts and continual search for satisfaction. In episode 6, after becoming friends with Gangle, Zubul unknowingly gives not only Gangle, but themselves, the advice that they need to move on. That the parts of yourself that make you different aren't something to avoid or ignore, but to embrace and accept because it's still a part of you, to validate your whole self. And in that same episode, they take their own advice and use the part of themselves that they despise as a useful tool to do what they want. Their character is resolved because their quote-unquote undesirable parts are validated and valued. Gangle starts out with constant worry and sadness, due to her masks determining the current emotion she feels, with her happy mask constantly getting broken, leading to her always wearing her sad mask. In episodes 4 and 5, we learn about how Gangle constantly represses her deep depression and desires as she feels that doing the opposite is a dream that she should give up on. But when Zubul gives her that advice in episode 6, she learns to use her masks and emotions the way that she wants to. It's not let her life be governed by them. Zubul's validation of her as a person led to her being able to do the same for herself. To focus on who she was, rather than what external factors try to force her to be. Her character is resolved because she as a person is validated and expressed. Jax in the series avoids anything regarding accepting reality. He's the funny one, the jokester bully of the group. He constantly craves and seeks over-the-top adventure as a means of dodging his true self in order to fuel his fake persona and to push his true self away. This constant avoidance of reality leads to his abstraction, and even though he doesn't come back from it, Pomni decides to ignore all of Jax's walls of past mistakes, accepting and validating him as a person for who he is and not what he does, leading to him being able to accept himself and reality. His character is resolved because he's validated and accepts his true self. Kane starts out as a crazy, over-the-top AI who craves the love and admiration of the humans. He creates adventure for them in order to win their love, but he ignores what they want in order to get there. Over the course of the series, he begins to go insane and become filled with contempt as the humans constantly ignore his attempts. And in episode 8, he finally snaps on the humans and tortures them. After getting deleted by them, he finally realizes that all along he needed to let the humans be themselves, to be free. He couldn't have their love and friendship if he forced them, he needed to let them be. So, he did just that, and is able to become friends with them all. His character is resolved because he learned that he needed to validate the uniqueness of the humans, and in turn was validated by them. Even though Kinger doesn't go through a character arc of his own, as he stays relatively same throughout the show, he still has his motives and character aspects, specifically his insanity. His insanity stems from his inability to accept the fake world around him. He constantly forgets things and people, as if he can't understand anything anymore. When he's in the dark, he can understand and take in the world around him. All of it comes from his long duration in the circus, symbolized through his loss of being able to accept reality anymore when he's in the light, no longer being able to validate what's real or not anymore, leading to his insanity. But when he helps others in the dark, he helps them validate which parts of themselves are fake and which are real. His insanity centers around being unable to validate what's real in this fake world. So, did you notice the commonality between all of them? No? Alright, then let's take the last sentence from each character description that talks about how their character resolution occurred and see if we can find it. Pomni's character is resolved because her inner strength is validated. Ragatha's is resolved because her true self is validated and not pushed aside. For Zubul, it's because undesirable parts are validated and valued. For Gangle, it's because she as a person is validated and expressed. For Jax, it's because he is validated and accepts his true self. King's character is resolved because he learned that he needed to validate the uniqueness of the humans and in turn was validated by them. And Kinger's insanity centers around being unable to validate what's real in this fake world. Now do you see it? It's one specific word: validate. Every single character's motivations have to do with validation. Whether it be trying to find ways to validate themselves, or ways to find the validity of the world around them, or even the opposite. Even when it comes to the other characters like Ribbit and Kaufmo, even though they don't get character resolutions, they're still driven by this commonality. When Jax tells Ribbit about his past, Ribbit validates him, and they're close friends. But Jax's fear of validating his true self takes over, causing him to, from there on out, to bully Ribbit and to act like their friendship never existed. Ribbit confronts him about it as an attempt to validate their friendship and to salvage it, but she gives up hope, and Jax refuses to acknowledge it, leading to Ribbit's abstraction. When it comes to Kaufmo, his abstraction insanity came down to everyone believing him to be out of his mind and avoiding him, leading to him being isolated without help or validation. So when it comes to both Ribbit and Kaufmo, they both abstracted because no one came to their rescue to help them. No one validated their struggle or them as people. But isn't that how real life is? Everyone's motivations are fueled by the desire to find something real, whether it be through people, music, or the internet. We all crave something real. A loss of purpose for someone is a loss of validation, a loss of knowing what's real to them, which is what makes these characters feel so real and what makes the resolutions also feel so real. They all start out looking for the truth, looking for validation, looking for what's real about themselves and the world around them. And for those who don't find it or avoid it, well. But those who do find it find themselves changed for the better and enjoying life no matter how mundane or stagnant it might feel. So that's the theme. Validation. The core driving factor behind every action and motivation of all of the core casts of the Amazing Digital Circus. How far are you willing to go to find or avoid validation within yourself and in reality?